Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. It is Bruce Jordan of Michael Jordan Hotels, and this episode is sponsored by Lodge IQ, the only revenue management system that is certified by Bruce Jordan of Michael Jordan Hotel. You know who we have in the house. Jake, what's going on, buddy? How you been? Good to see you.
How are you, Bruce?
I ask the same question to everybody. How did you get started in this business?
Oh, I was working at the University World.
Oh, nice.
At the time, and I grew up in Aberdeen, South Dakota, which is where Super 8 started, where my place is based out of. But I wasn't living there at the time. Growing up in Aberdeen, everybody knows the Super 8 story. There's a lot of hoteliers out of there, but I never thought about being in the hotel world until I was ready to leave the University World, and right across the train tracks was a big water park complex where I was living, in the town I was living at, and they had 5 hotels there, and I reached out to a guy I know that worked there, and been in it ever since.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now you're in revenue management. Like, how's that journey? What has that journey been like for you in the revenue management?
I love it. It's always been my favorite part of the hotels. Obviously you love making guests happy. Seeing them being excited on their journeys for wherever they're going on their travels. But the revenue side of things I really like, diving into how to best price yourself, and to really challenge the staff at the hotels, the front desk and the general managers to continuously always look for other ways to fill more rooms, and just make them excited about selling their hotels as well.
Nice. What are some of the, like, when you first got into revenue management, everybody has to solve a bunch of issues that they didn't know that they had, and of course, until you came along. So what are some of the things that you first had to deal with, and how did you solve those problems?
One of the first things, and I'm still dealing with it to this day, every property that's added to you, it's almost like the same thing on repeat sometimes, is the staff gets so busy, the day-to-day things, making sure rooms are clean, and general managers making sure front desk shows up, and those things, that it's really about training them and noticing just little things. They don't need to spend 3 hours a day looking at their rates and diving deep into things, but just trying to train them to look at the little things and then communicate those things. I would say get comfortable and confident in doing these things. And if you can do that, you're going to see your revenue and your ADR grow quite a bit, and you're not going to be overwhelmed because you're just little things at a time.
Man, I know you probably have a variety of tools that you use. Like, what are your top 3 tools that you feel like make your job, a little bit easier?
Good rate shopping tools are absolutely necessary. A good pickup report. I love a good pickup report, and I love pace reports. To be able to, if you can't compare where you're at versus last year, you need to be able to see that. And if you don't know today at a quick glance how many rooms you sold and for which days for the next month or 6 months or year, you need to be able to find something to do that. So that's why pickup reports are probably my favorite reports that there are.
Nice. What usually kills me is holidays, because it's when the holiday falls. Like, if the holiday falls on a Friday or a Monday, you know that, okay, this is going to be a holiday weekend. But if the holiday falls in the middle of the week, it's hard to predict what's going to happen. Like if it falls on a Wednesday, you don't know if it's going to happen on that Thursday or what's going to happen on that Tuesday. So what are some of the things that you do to help out with a situation like that?
Oh man, you're exactly right. If the holiday falls on the weekend, you're probably not missing out on much business on either side of that holiday. But if it's in the middle of the week, you're probably having no business that week. And that's really hard to deal with sometimes. And one thing that we really focus on with my place is your extended stay. And a lot of those people, they live there over the holidays still.
Yeah.
Really making it a home to try to at least have some people in-house over those times. But Labor Day, Memorial Day, those Mondays are always the worst days to try to fill a hotel, because everybody's going home those days.
Correct.
And so you'll go 3 days of being sold out to 10% occupancy.
Yeah. Revenue management for extended stay is a different beast, and a lot of people, they can't master it because it's just so weird.
Yeah.
Like, where people be coming in for transient, people are leaving for extended stay because that's literally their home, and that's the only time they can actually go home from whatever project that they're working on.
Yep.
So like, what are some of the major trends that you've seen, the difference between like a regular transient hotel versus extended stay?
Yeah, definitely. I've worked at both. And the transients, it's always a higher rate. You have more amenities to offer you. You normally have your pools and your breakfasts and things like that. My place, we really focus on an incredible experience and a great product to put out, clean and everything. But when it comes to pricing and everything, sometimes I say, let's swallow our pride a little bit. And we need to fill our base.
Yeah.
And we need to fill it with something.
That's right.
And, you're sometimes when you're dealing with transient, you're hoping people book at these higher rates, but they're not guaranteed. Well, what if we filled a third of your hotel with guaranteed business that's extended stay that you're not cleaning every day?
That's right.
And so let's talk about that a little bit, and let's see what rate you can really handle to make that happen. And then you do that a couple times, and pretty soon you're having really good occupancy because you filled your base, and then you're getting a little bit higher ADR off that transient.
Beautiful. Do you feel like sometimes transient is the enemy when it comes to extended stay hotels?
Oh yeah, and yep, totally. And I think that's, so many people at the hotels want those high rates. Nobody wants to pay them, but we want them at the hotel side. And they think we have a big event going on. And it's a 3-day period. We're gonna do $20,000 a night in this 3 days, and so I'm not taking this business for these 5 rooms for a full year because of this one event. And I really tell people, put pencil to paper and do math. And I've seen it where we've given up $100,000 in revenue to maybe make $10,000 on this event with those rooms. And that's where put pen to paper and really see the overall effect of those numbers.
At times it was cheaper for me to walk 10 guests for that were staying one night versus so I can allow another 10 guests that are going to be staying 2 months.
Yes.
You see a lot of that happening. A lot of that happens in extended stay, but that you really don't see that much in transient.
No. Yeah, and you really have to balance that lower ADR with the cost savings. And there's a difference between if you're going to be getting, if that extended stay is not truly extended stay, but they might be there just a couple days, but a ton of rooms versus, we need a mix of both. But you just have to do the math on it and figure it out. Some properties, depending on their markets, they might be better served to just try to get all extended negotiated business sometimes. Not all with one group, because you don't want to start over if that group leaves.
That's right.
But if you got 5, 6, 7 groups in that are extended stay, and that's filling 80% of your hotel, there's nothing wrong with that if you're making money on that and you're not cleaning those rooms and having those extra costs. And then fill in those last in with some transient or some weekend groups. But I just, do math.
Yeah.
Math's not hard with calculators everywhere these days. Do math. And there's a lot of programs out there that'll do it for you.
How do you handle the seasons? Because of course, you have higher rates in one season versus another, but you have this company, it's a construction project. They can't change their rates one season from another. So how do you handle that when it comes to negotiating those rates and making sure you're not overbooked at a lower rate that you don't want to be at?
When
busy season comes.
If historically you're going to be having this occupancy at these rates historically, sometimes you turn that business away.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just not worth it. But if you've struggled, then you might say, yeah, let's take it and let's at least fill some rooms, and then we'll make it up on the other end. Like if you're always going down with 15 rooms left to sell every night, let's find a way to fill those 15 rooms.
That's right.
But with the seasons, especially if the construction project overlaps seasons, you average out. They might be a little higher rate in the off season and a little lower rate in the on season. But again, revenue is awesome, and it's my goal to make people as much revenue as possible. But there's also the bottom line you have to worry about. And, you know, if you have someone coming in for one night, you have to clean that room twice to handle that one nighter.
Yeah.
And if you don't have to do those as much because you're taking a little bit lower rate, you know, it's gonna bring your revenue down just slightly, but you're gonna save quite a bit
on cost, because
side.
it's the labor cost has just like drastically increased, doubled.
Yep.
So, you know, sometimes it's easier just saving that labor cost versus trying to get that extra little $10 that's going to cost you $10 just to clean the room. So yeah, that makes sense totally. My last question for you is going to be transient versus extended stay. There's revenue managers that they specialize in transient, and they're coming into the extended stay market. Like, what is the biggest difference that you've seen versus transient versus extended stay revenue management?
Yeah, just know that the rates aren't going to be as glamorous as what you're hoping for. You know, and the rates they're always negotiable a lot of times. Some companies might come in and say, hey, this is our budget. Yeah. But, you know, you come back to them and say, you know, we can be here. It's that negotiating process. That's why it's called a local negotiator rate, or negotiate. Like, there's negotiation that goes into it. Don't just say, I can't do that rate. Yeah. Like, don't just give up on it right away because they say that. Talk to them. And even if they decide not to go with you initially because they're going with another property that's giving them that rate, doesn't mean they're going to stay at that rate that whole time. Stay at that property for that whole time. Had so many companies do that and then come back to us and say, hey, we absolutely don't like it over here. We'll pay your rate to have a better experience. And sometimes they'll give you a test run with 1 or 2 rooms, and those people will come back and say, hey, it's awesome, come over here now. So don't just assume because someone wants a low rate that they're not going to be able to go a little higher. There's always that balance between you still doing well on your rates and making a profit, and them still being able to afford to pay you.
Nice.
So, nice. But yeah, it's the numbers aren't as glamorous on the top end, and for me, my philosophy in extended stay is, especially when it comes to like your star report, if you subscribe to that, you win your occupancy every week, every month. Like, that's your goal, is occupancy. Don't have your ADR way below. It still needs to be reasonable compared to your comp set, but your occupancy is what you should be focusing on all the time.
Yeah, you can't go to bed with your ADR.
Nope.
It's not going to keep you warm at night.
I have a $200 ADR, but 10% occupancy. All right. No. Give me the opposite. I want a 90%. The star report, the index, what I try to do with the hotels that I have is I want them to be that 105, 110 plus index on occupancy and around the 90 index on ADR. Yeah. I think I don't think any owner is going to be disappointed if they see their RevPAR, if their occupancy and ADR are around that mark.
For sure. Well, listen, tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, you can find me on the My Place website, on LinkedIn as well. That's all. I don't have any.
My Place on LinkedIn, that works. That works.
Yeah.
Perfect. And this is Bruce Shorten, the Michael Jove Hotels. Thank you for joining us for another episode, and we're signing out.